How about something that is unfortunately real? So, man falsely accused of raping stepdaughter walks free after she spent 20 years insisting he didn't do it.
Really?
Really. Patrick Brown was released from prison earlier this week in New Orleans, nearly 29 years after his conviction for a crime he did not commit. Patrick Brown walked out of a New Orleans courtroom a free man on Monday. Mr. Brown, 49, fuck me, he was 20 at the time, was sentenced to life without parole for the rape of his stepdaughter in 1994. But not only did Mr. Brown continue to proclaim his innocence over the next 2+ decades, but his stepdaughter did as well, maintained that Mr. Brown was not the man who raped her. On Monday, the criminal justice system finally took heed. Judge Calvin Johnson delivered the news that the court was vacating Mr. Brown's conviction, decrying a miscarriage of justice that robbed Mr. Brown of well more than half of his life, so far as horrific. For us, the government, not to be better at what we do and how we do it, this wrongful conviction is the result. The effect Mr. Brown's conviction and ongoing imprisonment had on his stepdaughter, the victim of the rape, was enormous as well. The victim broke down in tears as she told the court at Mr. Brown's hearing how she had spent the last 2 decades writing more than 100 letters to the district attorney's office and the court, informing them that her stepfather had been wrongfully convicted. In 2015, the victim went so far as to sign an affidavit identifying another family member as the man who had raped her, even then the district attorney's office did not act. Having your voice being silenced is the worst feeling in the world, the victim told the courtroom. District attorney's office did not act. Why is it that district attorneys are always evil scum?
I guess it's just a hive of fucking, I don't know, fucking scum.
Yeah, fucking New Orleans. That 29 years with the victim going, wasn't him, you idiots.
Oh no, she probably has Stockholm syndrome. Don't listen to her.
Probably so. When Mr. Brown filed a claim of factual innocence, the Civil Rights Division was ready to investigate, and upon reviewing the victim's statement and the available evidence, appealed to have Mr. Brown's conviction thrown out. When Mr. Brown was convicted in 1994, it was largely on the basis of hearsay evidence from adults who claimed that the victim, who was 7 years old at the time, had accused Mr. Brown of raping her. The victim herself did not testify at the trial. Unbelievable.
Scummy fucks.
What's... They just picked a guy and fucking screwed him.
Yeah. 29 years of his life.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up.
Literally 3/5 of his life. The victim has endured...
If he's...
Sorry, go on.
If he's in there for being accused of child rape in a prison, they're not treated well.
Yep. It's unbelievable. Like, actual pedophiles deserve the worst torture known to man, and everything that the devil's got for him after death. But for fuck's sake, 29 years with this girl, poor girl, going through and reliving constantly what happened to restate his innocence. 20 years she spent trying to get him freed, and the government's just like, oh, fuck you, we got ours.
Yeah, we managed to do enough to get our paycheck. That's what it seems like. Bunch of lazy fucks not wanting to do the whole process.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, Violence is Life says...
I hope at least he gets some form of compensation for this.
Of course not.
Of course.
I'm sure he won't. Violence is Life says members of the family probably hate him for personal reasons. Wouldn't surprise me. Or they were covering up for someone they like better, because it does stink of a cover-up.
Oh yeah. Maybe they're just covering for the actual fucking criminal.
Yeah, well, like they say. The victim has endured not just the deep trauma of child sexual assault, but the trauma of knowing the wrong man has been in prison for almost 3 decades while the man who raped her walked free.
Jesus.
Yeah.
A living hell for him and her both.
Yeah. The work of the Civil Rights Division has had its hands full in Orleans Parish, which leads the country in exonerations per capita. Yeah, by which you mean false imprisonment. The Guardian reported the division had intervened in 284 cases since its creation 2 years ago. They obtained convictions in 21 cases in addition to Mr. Brown's.
It's like GTA Marcus says, it's all about conviction numbers for these people.
It is. They're just straight up corrupt. They're not interested in justice. They're interested in convictions, just like Hamza Yusuf. Actually, yeah, there's the good one we can reference that. Hamza Yusuf wants to abolish juries for rape trials.
Yeah,
And
so he can get...
and somehow he thinks it won't end up in more of this.
That's exactly what's going to happen. But hey, Hamza doesn't care, because then he can just send in the right people.
Yes. But no, even with juries allegedly, this guy got absolutely fucking ruined by corrupt incompetence district attorneys and shit. But Hamza fucking Yusuf wants to get rid of juries for rape trials. Because he's so desperate to get his conviction rate up.
It is not the conviction rate that decides if you're actually doing your job, it's the fucking justice it results in. But apparently their system isn't structured like that.
No. Because rape is such a hard crime to prove, for good reason, they're going, oh, the percentage of accusation, the percentage of when we accuse someone and then them actually getting convicted isn't high enough, so we need to change the system to make more people get convicted. What? No. How about you do a better job of investigating?
That is fucked up on so many fucking levels.
You've got to prove that happened beyond reasonable doubt. And
poor motherfucker.
It's obvious to any sane person why rape is so difficult to prove. It's not like burglary where you just have to prove the person was at the location. For rape, you not only have to prove the person was there, you then have to prove that they had sex, and then you have to prove it wasn't consensual. And those things are very hard to prove, especially when some idiot brings them up 30 years later.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And I'm sorry for all the poor women who were raped, but if you make a rape accusation after 30 fucking years, it shouldn't even go to investigation. What possible evidence could you have after 30 fucking years?
Everyone who's fucking done it so far and has appeared in media have all, in the end, been proven to be fucking false anyway.
Exactly. There are so many false accusations. Especially the ones that are after like 30 years. But I'm sorry, ladies. If it's your word against someone else's, if it's two people, if all the court has to go on is the word of two people, that it's got to go. I'm sorry, but you can't convict someone based just on entirely one fucking witness. No circumstantial evidence, no actual evidence. Can't even prove the guy was in the bloody country at the time, or something.
Yeah. 30
years difference. No, if it's just his word versus yours, presumption of innocence should apply. And I'm sorry, but you're going to have to. I'm not sure what we can do other than make it as easy as possible for women to get help immediately.
Or, give them the ability to defend themselves, because nothing equalizes the feels more than a fucking gun.
True, that would work well. There'd be a lot less rapes if women shot rapists.
Uh-huh. It's kind of hard to rape someone when you got a fucking 9mm bullet through your penis. Yes.
And then through your head.
Oh, yeah. Both heads. 2 headshots, just to be certain. That's what double taps are for.
Yeah. 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Make sure that fucker's dead.
Oh, yeah. God damn it. This is bad. This is sad.
Yeah. This is so fucking sad. This poor bastard spent 30 years in prison for nothing. And yet there are places that want to make it easier to convict people.
Yeah, because that's just so fucking just.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me, dude.
Gotta pump those numbers up.
Yep. If you enjoyed this segment from the Sons of Chardonnay podcast, please consider joining us live exclusively on rumble.com/c/Sons of Chardonnay. A special thanks to our Subscribe Star supporters who you can currently see scrolling past on your screen.